Therefore, fellow Africans, being on 17th of November 2025, it's on a Friday morning, and I am privileged to bring to you our fifth pillar about the Change for African campaign, and that is the climate change that we face in Africa. So fellow Africans, to help us illustrate, vocalize or articulate on our fifth pillar about climate change today will be the number 254, a country in the eastern part of Africa, and that is Kenya. So therefore, join me in the next about 5 minutes to 6 as we articulate on this pillar. You're welcome. So therefore, fellow Africans, shortly, I would love us, since it's the first episode about climate change, to have just an understanding or a definition, very short one, of what climate change means. Therefore, climate change is this rising of global temperatures and shifting weather patterns, day-to-day weather patterns, and as time continues. And I also like us or you to understand what are some of the causes of climate change. We have both the natural and we have the man-made or man-driven causes of climate change. So today in particular, I'll be a little bit under the man-driven causes of climate change. And just to mention a few, some of the causes, we have burning of fossil fuels, which happens very much in Africa. We have deforestation also happening at a very high rate in Africa. We have industrial activities, the emission of those harmful gases into the atmosphere also happening at a very high tone. Not really high, but to some extent also happening at other parts of the globe, are also influencing that as an effect of climate change in Africa. And yet Africa does really account to a very small percentage of manufacturing and emission of those gases into the atmosphere. But today, one topic in particular under that will be drought and impact of climate change. Drought has taken a heavy toll. More so, Kenya being our example today, drought has not been our friend anymore. If you all remember in 2021, when Kenya experienced the highest drought or the deadly drought to have ever been experienced in the last 40 years, the drought of such magnitude. What did this mean? This means that drought or climate change impacts and effects have no way there is no way that they are not letting us, but they are with us. Therefore, it's action time. The 2021 droughts in Kenya led to very worrying situations, and people, or as a country, we saw situations whereby animals died, the livestock were dying. We saw a situation whereby children were malnourished, a situation whereby hunger took the highest toll. Climate change, it's a deal that should be discussed. Let's proceed. So, what did the 2021 droughts bring to the table or add to the table of discussion about solutions towards climate change? This is what should have been learned from them. That it is high time, or this was an alarm or a pattern, that in Africa, if we do not take early steps as early as today, then this one is not letting us, but we shall experience more of this to come, because climate change is real. That is what you have to put in mind, that if the effects of drought, prolonged droughts, the sporadic rainfalls coming, droughts that have never been experienced before, it means that it is something that is growing, so that even 5 years from now we will have even much that won't happen. And that, what does that mean? That means that livestock would continue to die, our children will continue to be malnourished, hunger will take the highest toll. And what does that mean? If we have drought, then it means that the situation of poverty or now we go back to our pillar number 4, that the discussion about the living standards in Africa will continue to derogate and go down, because if we have droughts cause by we cannot produce enough yield, then that means that our production is going to be down. Then the situations or the lifestyles of poverty will continue to take a heavy toll in Africa. So therefore, fellow Africans, this is an issue of discussion. It is a critical issue of concern that we all have to make sure that we look for ideas, solutions of curbing climate change. So therefore, for us to do all this, it is only by one thing: all the way from the northern part of Africa to the southern part of Africa, all the way from the eastern part of Africa to the western part of Africa, and all of the African counterparts, we have to unite. Unity will only drive us to a great destination as Africa. So therefore, fellow Africans, being on Friday, guess what? Our show has just come to an end about the climate change we face in Africa. That was our first show of the year about climate change. For more conversations about climate change, let's meet on Friday next week, when we'll be having more discussion about climate change and what you can do to curb climate change. On Monday next week, it will be our pillar number 1, governance, once again. If you did not watch our last pillar, just go and look episode 1. It was about governance. Go watch, and on Monday we shall be having a new topic and continue to discuss the governance we want in Africa. Climate change is an issue of concern. Therefore, we want to thank you, all of you, for the week. Tomorrow is on a weekend, so I wish you a happy weekend and some good times ahead. God bless you, and Africa is here to stay. Thank you.